All right, this has been a long time coming. To be honest, I wanted to do this review of my Priority 600 for months, but I really wanted to do it outside. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so it being April, we haven't had a lot of good outside days. When we do have a good day, I want to be on my Priority 600 bicycle, going somewhere fun, not sitting in my yard in front of my camera. But today, I think I have enough time to fit a lot of things in, and I hope there's kind of an engine noise in the background. I'm hoping that that doesn't come through too bad. It's a pretty hideous sound. So first of all, I'm doing a review, but I am not like super bicyclist. I don't have 5 bikes. I haven't been bicycling very long. I picked this up about 2 years ago. I'm a hiker mostly, but I wanted to try bicycling too. So I got like a $500 REI bike. Totally love that bike, but it was a cross bike because I knew I wanted to take it on gravel as well, but it was more leaning towards the mountain bike side. So when I did get on some nice paved urban trails, like we've got the Centennial Trail here and a few others, or wanted to go on a road bike like loop, I was left in the dust, of course, because it was really slow and awkward and a pretty heavy bike. So I decided I would stick with it, and if I knew I was going to use it a lot, I would reward myself with a really good bike that actually fit what I wanted to use it for. So once I proved to myself that yes, I was serious about bicycling, I was going to get out at least once a week, if not twice a week. I love the way I feel when I'm riding my bike. I knew it was time. And in the meantime, I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube and kind of reading about bicycles and trying to figure out what I wanted. So what I wanted was, again, a bike that wasn't limited to the street or paved sidewalks. And it was also not something super heavy and tough that I would be doing hardcore mountain biking on. It's actually something I'm curious about, but I definitely don't have that skill set yet. So I really wanted a bike that I could just go on pretty much any trail, gravel, single track, on roads, on paved trails. You can handle some rocks and things like that. And I have taken this bike in pretty much every terrain, and it rocks. It really does. Another thing I'm very interested in is bike packing, and I needed a bike that would be able to hold all the bags I would need and water bottles and things if I were to go bike packing, which I actually haven't done yet, but I'm hoping to maybe do the first one in May or June this year once it's a little bit warmer. So some of the things I liked about this bike as well were that there's a lot of attachments all over that you can put water bottles and different bags and systems to hold your gear. They just have this one basic style for the 600. So you can easily put a nice size frame bag in there, whereas on my mountain bike and on a lot of women's specific bikes where the top bar slants down a lot, you wouldn't be able to fit that type of bag in there as well. Not something that will hold much. I was worried about getting on and off this bike with the top bar being where it is, but I'm 50, I'm not super flexible, and I've had 0 problems with that. So things that I love about it, I'm just gonna kind of start going through them as I think of them. One thing I love about the 600 is it comes with these fenders. They were a little tricky to get adjusted right so they didn't rub on the tire, but once you have that, I haven't had them shift out of place or have any problems Again, I live in the Pacific Northwest. So at some point, you're definitely going to be going through water or mud here, and that Fender system is just perfect. I have not had any mud or water splashed up on me while I've been on this bike. The really obvious one is this pinion gearbox. This gives you a 600% range. Did I know what that meant when I got it really? No, I did not. But I can tell you that when somebody says there's a steep hill coming up, I do not cringe. Maybe it will take me a little while to get up it, but I do not have to jump off and hike my bike so far. It has such a great range. You can just keep gearing it down and just keep pedaling and up you go. It just takes it like a champ. The next thing to mention would be this Gates carbon drive. This bike does not have a chain, so there's no oil, there's no messy maintenance of this bike. Everything is just nice and neat and contained. It does need a bath. I meant to kind of spray it off first. That's pretty much all it needs, is just a nice spray off now and then, a little TLC, but not heavy on the maintenance. The tires come tubeless ready. I have not changed them out. They are still with air tubes and I had zero problems with them. My husband went over some blackberries and got a flat tire on the front right away. So he suggested we put liners in our bike tires, and I did on the front, but I don't think I'd recommend that. I think it's a little heavy and I don't know that it's necessary. He's had a couple other flats since, so I'm not sure if his riding style is just different than mine, but I haven't had any problems at all with either of my tires. Hello, Luna, you gonna be in the video too? Another thing I really love about this bike is the upright position. My wrists do not like to take my weight when I'm leaning forward, and I do not have a lot of core strength, although I have noticed it improving because I've been getting out and about and on this bike, and I definitely attribute it directly to bicycle riding. So the upright position allows me to lean forward a bit and put some weight on my wrists. These handlebars allow me to change up my hand position so I can take some of the strain off my wrists if there is too much. You definitely want to make sure that you get your bike fitted so that you're riding correctly and not leaning too far forward or being too upright. But this bike is fitted for me and I don't feel the strain in my back, my wrists, my legs are positioned correctly, and it allows for me to ride a long ways without getting in a lot of pain. The safety features I like are really these Dynamo lights. It has a tail light and this awesome headlight here. They're super bright. They are powered by you, and I think it's 10 minutes that they remain on once you stop riding, which hasn't been a problem either. I know some people have mentioned if they put it in their apartment, it's flashing in their apartment, or if they put it on their bike rack, it's a little distracting maybe to vehicles, but I haven't had any problems with it. I've only really enjoyed the light. I've gone through a tunnel with it. Because the lights are so bright and so nice, I think that the reflectors are a little superfluous. This one needs tightening a bit. I think I have it tightened all the way, but it's still a little loose. All right, I wanted this to be a fair bike review too, so I'm gonna try to add in the only real negatives I could think of. And I don't think any of them are deal breakers. The first one is the uphill with the gear ratio is super, super easy. But I feel like when you're going downhill and you wanna really build up your speed, that there could be an additional range for that. I feel like the tension and resistance, it's just gone pretty quickly. There's just not a lot of extra I can put into it once I've built up some good speed on a hill. But I don't love really fast downhill anyway, so for my purpose, I think I'm just fine with that. The other thing is not really a negative, but something you'll need to get used to if you're coming from a bike where you need to be pedaling to shift. With these bikes, you need to stop pedaling to shift. I think I've shown that on one of my videos, but I didn't get it very well. Hard to film while I'm shifting, but I'll try to stick it in here if it's good enough to kind of get you the idea. Really easy. I actually like this method of shifting much, much better, but I did notice that it took me a little bit to kind of get used to that. And then the last thing is really know what you want your bike for and what bike is going to get you there. I am not in races and I'm not riding on the roads all the time, so I didn't get a road bike. This is not going to, you know, be a 20-mile-an-hour average bike for streets. Maybe if I put some different tires on it, but I don't want to be swapping my tires in and out either. This, the way it's set up, is suiting my purpose just fine. But I do know that when I've looked at kind of like the speed ranges for our local bike club, that I would be really pushing myself to keep up with them. And I've seen them whiz by me on the trail with their sleek little bikes, and just pretty effortless to like shoot right by me. Now granted, I'm getting better shape as I go, so part of it's me, not the bike, but it's not a racing road bike. So if you want one of those, don't get this bike. If you want everything else, do get this bike. I think the last thing I wanted to talk about is what have I done to this bike since I got it. Not a lot. The first thing I did was put on water bottle holders. I didn't pay attention when I got this one. I actually didn't realize what kind of water bottle holder it is, and it's my favorite. It's magnetic. I just pop it off and then it pops right back on. Maybe everybody knew about these, but that was a game changer for me. It's so easy to get a drink without stopping. Not that I'm opposed to stopping, but it's just super, super handy. And also I've got my air pump here. I put a seat bag underneath here, and inside this I keep an extra tube and bike tools, and that's where I put my car keys when I am on a ride. This I actually don't use for my phone, but I put in here an emergency like toilet kit, so when I'm out on the trails that go way out through the countryside in the forest, if I need a bathroom and there is none, a little bit of toilet paper, and there's my first aid kit in there, and I can put my wallet in there when I'm riding, and it also holds a few snacks, so that's really handy too. I had a really sweet bell, but it broke, sadly, and I got this one for Christmas. I'm not sure how I feel about it. So sometimes if there's kids that I think will enjoy it, I'll use it. Otherwise, I just say on your left when I'm passing people. But yeah, I hope I didn't leave anything out. I'm so glad I got this bicycle. It was worth every penny, in my opinion. And maybe once I get it out bike packing a lot, I will give in and get the 600X someday.